next entity we'll be looking at in Lethal Company Guide is the Hoarding bug. Now the Hoarding bug is a bit different compared to all the others. It has two separate distinct looks. The first one is its normal walking one, and then when it's attacking it has a completely different one which kind of looks a bit like a standing fly, which I'll put up on the screen now. First thing as we get into with all the others is the occurrence. The occurrence has changed with the new version. Obviously the old occurrence was assurance being at the top, but now it's embryon being at the top with a 30.6% chance of spawning. Then it's assurance, then it's vow, then it's admirance, then it's experimentation, then march, then artifice, then dine, then offense, then titan with the lowest at 6.87%. Now the behaviour with the Hoarding bug has three distinct phases. The first one is the roaming, then it's guarding, and then it's aggro. The first one is the roaming phase. Hoarding bugs will spawn in this phase. They'll search around the map, search for items to bring back to their nests, occasionally backtracking, making their movements seem random and sporadic. After a while, the Hoarding bug will start searching rooms, looking for likely items that the player has dropped, and then it'll run back to its phase, and once it's basically done that, it'll enter its guarding phase. If the bug hears the player too close to its nest, it will run to the nest and enter the guarding phase like in the next one. In this phase, the Hoarding bug will drop its item and sit still on its nest, guarding the items from the player. 15 seconds until timer governs how long the loot bug stays in this phase, and once it is up, it will return to the roaming phase and carry on going looking for scrap. However, if a Hoarding bug spots a player during this phase, its time is paused and it will stare at the player until the line of sight is broken and the timer resumes. It will also pick up any item the player drops in front of it. Hoarding bugs will leave this phase if the player becomes too close. Now the final phase is the aggro phase. There are three levels of hostility. The first one is activated when the player comes too close to the Hoarding bug. So in some cases you can see if you stare, so as the Hoarding bug comes closer towards you, it will start following you about. Sometimes it can enter the aggro phase. If you stare at it too long, it can get a bit annoying. The second level of aggro is only entered when the player hits a Hoarding bug. So for example, hitting it with a shovel. The Hoarding bug will chase the player until they either die or kill the Hoarding bug. Breaking the line of sight 15 seconds will stop the aggro and it returns to the guarding phase after leaving this aggro level. Hoarding bugs will buzz and upon seeing the player will enter the aggro phase again immediately. The player must wait out the 50-second timer so the bug enters the roaming phase again, stopping the buzzing. Then the final level of aggro is activated if the player steals from the Hoarding bug's nest, or it can be activated if the Hoarding bug, if you steal something from the Hoarding bug. In this kind of aggro phase, the bug will chase a player, just like the second phase. However, the bug is now relentless and will remain buzzing even in the roaming phase. Only way to stop this are to either kill, die, or return to the same scrap that you stole back to the bug. Pretty much returning it back to the nest, or dropping it. You can either do the way. Now, there are a couple of strategies currently posted about the Hoarding bug. The first one is employees should keep their distance and refrain from stealing items from the Hoarding bug. Although they may look cute, they can become very hostile if you annoy it. Kind of like a couple of mobs, like a couple of entities on this list. Hoarding bug will take upwards of 3 seconds to make a collision with an employee before becoming hostile. Their erratic movements can occasionally cause them to follow the employee, even while trying to evade them, causing them to become aggressive. Hoarding bugs who are far from their nest may also attempt to follow players, holding scrap in their hand in an attempt to grab what they are holding despite being unable to do so, resulting in them turning hostile shortly after. This is what I was explaining about. If you stare at it too long, it will enter its aggro phase. Pretty much doing that. Leaving the building will allow employees to avoid the Hoarding bug, potentially allowing it to wander off somewhere else in the facility. Hoarding bug can appear in groups, mostly common in a group of 3, and on rare occasions as high as groups of 4 or 5. Simply killing the Hoarding bug with a weapon is a viable option, as the player will be able to outrun the DPS single Hoarding bug even in head-to-head combat. That is a strategy. Killing Hoarding bugs for last and stealing their stash before leading a strategy of collecting as much scrap as possible. That is kind of a strategy with it. The trivia behind it, its nickname Loot Bug is reference to the passive entity in the Deep Rock Galactic. Its scientific name is, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that, but translate to a gross thing in Latin. Also may be a reference to Marcus Lincius Gracius, the richest man in Rome. So a nice little bit of trivia for you. And that is a hoarding bug.